If you think Sun Tzu's art of war is about fighting, you've already lost. Right now, there's a $2.2 trillion military budget being spent worldwide, and they're all making the same mistake, a mistake Sun Tzu solved 2,500 years ago. Because here's the truth. The art of war was never about war. It was about money. And understanding this difference has either elevated empires throughout history or destroyed them. Let me ask you a question. Which war is more valuable? A war you win with an army of 100,000, or a war you win without fighting at all? Most people choose the first because it seems heroic. It becomes the stuff of legends. Sun Tzu would choose the second. Why? Because the first one bankrupts you. This video you're watching right now is about the true genius of history's most misunderstood strategist. And what I'm about to tell you will change everything from modern business to politics, from personal finance to international relations. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Imagine yourself. You're in China in 500 BC. There are 7 kingdoms around you, and each one is saying, "I will unite the world." But there's a problem. Every 10 years, wars get bigger. Army sizes double, costs quadruple, and kingdoms collapse one by one. Not because of the enemy, because of their own budgets. A king ascends the throne saying, "I am a great commander." He gathers armies. He goes to war. And 6 months later, his treasury is empty. Taxes have skyrocketed. The people are revolting. He wins the war, but loses his kingdom. Sound familiar? Because this story didn't just happen in 500 BC. It happened in 2001, in 1968, in 1914. And it's happening right now. But let's get to the main point. Sun Tzu was not a philosopher. He wasn't a mystical thinker either. He was an accountant. But such an accountant that instead of numbers, he calculated the fate of empires. This is where his genius lies. While everyone was asking, "How do we win?" he was asking, "What is the cost of this victory, and can we afford it?" Now let me tell you something, and listen carefully because this is something very few people understand. The most famous sentence in the art of war is actually a financial warning. War is of vital importance to the state. People read this as, "War is very important." Wrong. Sun Tzu is saying, war is so dangerous that it can destroy the state. Vital equal dangerous, risky, destructive. Think about it. Normal general. The enemy's army is 50,000. Ours is 70,000. Attack! Sun Tzu. Wait a minute. How many months can we feed 70,000 people? How long are the supply lines? When does the agricultural season start? Will this campaign collapse the economy? Do you see the difference? One is a war artist. The other is a survival artist. Now I'm going to give you the 3 basic principles of the art of war. But not as everyone knows them, but as Sun Tzu actually meant them. Principle 1. Defeat the enemy without fighting. Everyone says psychological warfare, manipulation, mind games. Real meaning, cost optimization. In Sun Tzu's language, instead of spending 1 million gold on a war, invest 10,000 gold in a spy. Let him learn the enemy's plan, break their alliances, collapse their morale. Result? Same outcome, 99% cheaper. In the modern world, this is cyber warfare, economic sanctions, diplomatic pressure. All the same principle, maximum impact, minimum cost. Principle 2. Speed is the essence of war. Everyone says, attack fast, surprise them. Real meaning, time equals money. Sun Tzu calculated. Every day the army stays in the field, equal treasury melting. Every kilometer of long supply line equal double the cost. Every month the campaign extends equals risk of economic collapse. What he means by speed: stop burning money. Win fast. Withdraw fast. Decide fast. Because a long war makes you lose even if you win. Principle 3. Intelligence is the most valuable weapon. Everyone says, knowledge is power. Real meaning: knowledge is the cheapest weapon. Let me explain with an example. Scenario A: 6-month campaign with a 100,000-man army equals 10 million gold. Scenario B: 10 spies. Correct information. 1-week operation equals 50,000 gold. Same result. 99.5% cost savings. Sun Tzu understood this 2,500 years ago. Do you understand it now? Think about it. How many times in your own life have you fought when you actually should have talked? How many times have you spent energy, time, money, just because you chose the wrong strategy? Write it in the comments. I'm curious. Now let's get to the most interesting part. Everything Sun Tzu warned about is repeating itself in the modern world. Example 1. Soviet Union, Afghanistan, 1979 to 1989. Superpower, strong army, ideological goal. Result: 10 years, 15,000 soldiers lost, economic collapse. In 1991, the Soviets dissolved. The reason wasn't Afghanistan. It was Afghanistan's bill. Example 2. America, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. Vietnam, 20 years, 58,000 dead, $168 billion. Iraq, $3 trillion. Afghanistan, $2.3 trillion. All of them were winnable wars. But did Sun Tzu say this? Winning is not enough. Can you stay standing after you win? Here's the tragedy. History teaches the same lesson over and over. But every generation says, this time is different. It's not. Sun Tzu has been right for 2,500 years and has been ignored for 2,500 years. Okay, nice story, but I'm not an emperor. What does this mean to me? What does it mean to you? Everything. Because Sun Tzu's principles are universal. In business, entering a price war with competitors equals the trap Sun Tzu warned about. Zeroing out your margins to win customers equals short-term victory, long-term bankruptcy. Saying, we won, but closing the company 6 months later equals classic Sun Tzu tragedy. In personal life, ending your relationship to prove you're right. Losing your friendship to win an argument. Ego battles, the most expensive wars. In finance, taking excessive risk for high returns. Burning capital with the desire to win. Financial indiscipline equals state budget indiscipline. Sun Tzu's real message is this: life is not a race to win, it's a race to survive. The strongest doesn't win. The one who can endure longest wins. The one who fights most doesn't win. The one who avoids unnecessary battles wins. For 2,500 years, empires have risen and fallen. Armies have won victories and perished. Leaders said, we made history, and were forgotten. All for the same reason. They didn't calculate the cost. Those who forgot that power has a price went down in history as warnings. But those who calculated they could pay the price of power, they made history. Sun Tzu is telling you, you can fight, but do you have to fight? You can win, but can you pay the price of winning? You are powerful. But how sustainable is your power? Because history doesn't remember the strongest, it remembers the smartest. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And if you don't understand Sun Tzu, it's going to be a very expensive rhyme for you. Here's what you need to do. Keycap 1 right now. Send this video to someone who's fighting their own battles. Maybe it changes their life. Maybe it saves yours. Keycap 2 today. Comment below. What unnecessary battle have I given up? Because awareness is the beginning of change. Keycap 3 right now. Subscribe. Final words. Sun Tzu wrote 2,500 years ago. The Soviets learned in 1991. America learned 20 years later. How many more years will you wait? Are you ready to make history? Then let's begin.